What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Hologram. They did close at 38 cents on Thursday, so come Monday should be roughly around that $15 range post reverse stock split. But I wanted to go over how a lot of individuals are assuming that there is going to be a post reverse stock split pump. So I wanted to go over everything that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So in case you do not know, they do have that reverse stock split that is going to be effective on the 21st, a 1 for 40. So that will be officially their third reverse stock split. And historically, February the 2nd, that is what got it very, very popular, because on February the 7th, it did go parabolic, if you want to call it that, because it did go through a crazy run. And so I think the timing for that, in conjunction with that first reverse stock split, is just random coincidence, but that really got people thinking that Hologram, every time it does a reverse stock split, it pumps. So you have even a lot of individuals on Reddit saying the exact same thing, that post reverse stock split, you're going to see a substantial pump that should last for several weeks. And then aside from that, after that kind of subsides, then you're going to have those same entities shorting it. So when it comes down to reverse stock splits, you have to realize who has a financial interest in it going up and as well with it going down. Hologram has a lot of these notes. I've brought them up in the past, and ultimately that's the reason why Hologram is at these levels, is because the conversion, the dilution that is happening. And in case you don't know and you haven't read the terms and conditions of these notes, they're short term, 365 days. After that 365 days, the principal is due in cash, and then the interest payments are convertible. So that's kind of where the dilution is coming from. So I know a lot of people haven't read through them and just don't really know much about them, but nonetheless, that is the reason why they are going down. But those same entities do have a financial interest in it both going higher as well as lower, because what I mean by that is, like, let's say I hold one of these notes. I'm one of those investors. Well, technically, the lower the price, the more shares I get through the conversion for the interest payments, because the interest payments are a fixed sum. So if you just do the basic math, if that fixed sum stays the same and the stock price goes down, that does mean I get more shares, meaning more dilution. So that's why I've always stated, the lower the price, the more shares are issued. So to me, being a note holder, I benefit from the lower price. At the same time, I do not want it to be insolvent. So this is why it's kind of a fine line. So they have a financial interest to ensure that Hologram still stays active, but they also have a financial interest in it going down. Based on the terms, they can short a stock, but based on just everything, it's not feasible at all. So I do disagree with this individual saying that the same entities that are causing it to go higher will eventually flip and short. That's just not how it'll benefit them bigger picture. Maybe other retail or someone else will start shorting it, but those note holders, they need as many buyers as possible. So they want it to stay relevant. And one common stock that has unfortunately not really worked out for investors, but that does have the same convertible debt products, is Mullen Automotive, sitting basically at negative 100% over the last 1 year. Even over the last 1 month, down 98.42%, and this is what they've done for reverse stock splits. So they have officially just done their 6th reverse stock split on April the 11th. And ultimately, with it being at $1.12 right now, it might be kind of ready for its 7th. So this single-handedly answers a lot of your questions. Can Hologram do more reverse stock splits? Answer is yes. Even, it's kind of funny how I have been correct 100% of the time. I'm not boasting. I could really care less. But nonetheless, you have a lot of individuals saying that, nope, They cannot do a third reverse stock split, blah, blah, blah. Well, that so far hasn't been correct all that much. And so I think in reality, you do have a lot of paid actors behind the scenes that are trying to pump hologram, accountants and many other kind of individuals. I think I even called one individual out last video just on how just absolutely psychotic some individuals are. But nonetheless, I think when it comes down to people thinking that there is going to be a reverse stock split and then a pump, they are thinking about what happened in the first one. So February 2nd, 2024, there was a 1-for-10 reverse stock split. And then I believe it was on February the 7th, this stock went parabolic. It went up like insane. And that's what got it on a lot of people's radars, including mine. So I did start to cover it because of that. And so I think in reality, there's just a very coincidental timing, making up words here, but I think it's just very interesting timing based on the first reverse stock split and the pump. Technically, based on that, the only ones that are really driving it higher are the note holders, and that is during the conversions. So again, just to be fully clear, those note holders have a financial interest in it being higher, staying relevant, hyped up, and as well they also benefit from the downside. So it's a very unique circumstance. So I think at the end of the day, post reverse stock split, there could be a pump, but as I've shared with you many times in the past, even when a lot of individuals were getting hyped up about April 16th, any abnormal volume you need to be very cautious over, and that ultimately is dilution. So I can almost guarantee 100% April 16th, there was dilution occurring. Same goes for even if we scroll down, this right here, March the 21st, obviously dilution, which is also on a side note, another interesting thing. A lot of people now don't comment on that because they are completely wrong. But during this whole time frame over the last 6 months, I've been stating that there is dilution occurring. People be like, no, show me proof. Well, they just submitted their 20F and also the note for the reverse stock split date, and it went like massive. Like, so there is like insane amount of dilution occurring. But this right here, 190. So someone, how can you tell me that 190 million shares on February the 21st were traded, but technically at the time, I do believe it was only, was it 50 million was in the float? So obviously, how can you not assume that there is dilution occurring? But every single time that this does pump, it is dilution. So even if it does go up, let's say a couple 100%, just be cautious and look back at historical data and realize that that pump normally only lasts 1, possibly 2 days. What happened in February 2024, I think, was very abnormal. A lot of individuals assumed it was a squeeze play and maybe didn't really understand exactly the fundamentals behind the scenes. So long story short, there could be a reverse stock split or post reverse stock split pump, but be very cautious about getting in on the long term. Do not fall in love with a stock. As I've shared with you, anyone getting in, even like on Thursday, if you hold it for a month, month and a half, you're going to lose roughly around 80 to 90% of your equity. So I've been stating that over and over and over. Even over the last 1 year, down 99.14. Over the last 1 month, down 55.75. You're going to be the exact same scenario as Mullen. It's only going to escalate because people are going to start catching on and not buying into all of this. So again, the note holders need the stock to stay relevant and hyped up to lure in more buyers. If not, it is just going to trend down. So long story short, yes, you could see a pump, but it might be better to catch it as it is going up rather than buying in immediately on Monday and then assuming that's going to happen. That's just a very bad way to play it. So let me know your general thoughts on hologram. I know this might not be the most optimistic, but it's just that's how hologram is. And you can always go back to many of my other videos, how at the tail end of August I was already saying that they're going to be doing a second and then technically already a third reverse stock split. Been calling out all of this the whole time. A lot of individuals just have been ignoring it, and some of which, like I said, are actual true accountants, and they just do not know anything. It's just kind of mind-boggling. So again, that leads me to believe that if someone with a professional career is completely overlooking all these things, they might be a paid actor. So this isn't the first time companies have paid people to try to pump, so just be cautious at the end of the day. So do whatever floats your boat. So hopefully everyone has a good long weekend. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What's your kind of general thoughts on all of that? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with all that, appreciate all you watching.